Hello, 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 everybody out there in the internet land. It's your boy, yours truly, Sean Taylor. Welcome to the show, the No Judgment Zone, with yours truly, Sean Taylor, the host, discussing topics with no judgment, discussing topics with no judgments. You are now officially live. You into the mind, you into the place of the No Judgment Zone. I got today my boy. I wish I had him on the show last week when we did the sex talk, but that's all right.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a part two to it, but it's gonna be a little bit later down the road. But we're gonna get back to it too. So he'll definitely be on it, so y'all can be able to pick his brain and see what's in there. So I was telling Brandon, I don't know what I was talking about something. Hey man, you know, since let's talk about the two elephants in the room. I want to talk about my Ravens real quick, how they doing things. Now I did not expect my Ravens to do what they did to the Chargers on yesterday, but I'm a proud super fan of my Baltimore Ravens, and I bleed purple and black, and that ain't never gonna change. But on the flip side of that coin, the Jags got their first win. What you B?
So,
Them Jaguars got that
so,
first win, baby.
let's start with the Ravens first, man. I was watching that game after the Jaguars won. I was watching the Ravens game, and they outclassed the Chargers start to finish. I mean, it wasn't a competition. Justin, the Justin Herbert is the next great takes have slowed down to a crawl now. Because, dude, before that game, Justin Herbert, would you take Justin Herbert or Lamar Jackson? And I'm like, why is that even a question? Justin Herbert is only 18 games in, 20 games in. Dog, Lamar just won 34 games before 25, the most in NFL history.
Right.
Yeah. So come on, man. But yeah. Hey, and they're slowly getting players back from injured reserve. So watch out.
Watch out, man. Watch out. 5-1 right now, bro. I take it. I'm smiling from ear to ear. You can't fade me this week. You can't fade me.
Right. Now, hey, same here. Hey, we finally got us a kicker. We made our first field goal. I didn't know he was gonna make 3 of them and kick
man,
the
that
winner.
dude was clutch, wasn't he?
No, that's that second one, I think.
Wow.
Dude, you saw it curve out and then curve back in.
I say, who is this kid?
I said, dude, who is this guy, man?
Where they get that dude from? You know where they got that from? Where they got him from?
They got him off the street.
Wow. That hey, they need to lock him up in a contract long term, because that dude right there is nice. He's nice with it. So, all right, good people. Before we gonna get back on topic. You know, me and Brandon will be. I'll see you later today, man. We know we gonna chop it up about that more football 1-on-1. But the topic today: if the mind ain't right, the rest don't matter. If the mind don't right, the rest don't matter. So, I have a martial arts background, and one of the things, when you have a good sensei, they really teach you the fundamentals of what martial arts is really about. Martial arts got a lot to do with the mindset when it comes to meditating and things of that nature. So for me, when you're talking to somebody, you could be having a candid conversation or just random conversation with somebody. The conversation, what they say would tell you how their mindset is. You know, so you don't have to go dig into to figure out how a person's mindset is. All you got to do is have a conversation with them, and you will know exactly how their mindsets are, and then definitely what they're impressed by too as well. So my thing, what I see about people, you know, again, no judgments. I can see why you are where you are in certain positions in life, and why things always constantly happen to you all the time. It's the way you think. Now, I preach mindset. Anybody who knows me, I preach mindset pretty much on a daily basis, because I know, even especially in fitness, the reason why people don't get the results that they want is because their mindsets are trash. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat that. I see why a person can't get their body tighter and toner. I see why they can't lose weight. I see why the body fat's not dropping. I see why the inch is not dropping. I see why they don't look good naked. Why? Because your mindset is garbage. In order for you to change any dynamic in any aspect or facet in your life, You have to change the way you're thinking. You sleeping on your greatest resources next to the big man that sits high and looks low. It's that thing that sits in between your shoulders. Yeah. And I tell people all the time, I was just having a discussion with one of my friends, and I was like, you can listen to who you want to. You can read all you want to. But if you're not tapping into that number one resource that sits in between your shoulders, that number one thing that sits in between your shoulders can make you a millionaire, a billionaire. It can make you an entrepreneur. It can make you have continuity in your life. It can make your relationships better. It can make your marriage better. It can make your friendships better. It can allow you to change how your body looks. It's the mindset. And if you don't change your thinking, good people, I'm telling you, you're going to be in the same position 6 months, a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. You got to change your way of thinking. B, I'll let you, I done already threw you the pass, man. So go ahead and take it and run some yards, dog. What you got? What's your take on that?
So absolutely, you have to change the mindset. Let's take it back to football, like we was just talking. One of the things about losing, just like winning, it's infectious, and it can permeate throughout the locker room. So what do coaches who coming into a situation where the team hasn't won yet, what do they talk about? They talk about changing the culture, which is basically changing the mindset of the franchise and the players and the coaches on the team. Because you guys are perennial losers, i.e. the Jaguars, and no, we have to. Urban Meyer came in and said he wanted to change the culture, so you have to change the mindset. If we had kept people from the 1-15 team, whoever have that same mindset from last year, at a certain point, they got to go. They have to go. If they're not moving the same place the rest of the team is moving, if you're not on this train, you have to go. So, and for the effed up mindset, it will derail pretty much everything, because it's easy to revert back to what you already know. Just like, say, Jaguars going to winning streak. If that mindset hasn't changed, if the culture hasn't changed, guess what's going to happen after the winning streak? You're going to go on another losing streak. That's what's going to happen.
I love that, man. Reverting back to what you already know, to pretty much what you're comfortable with, is the same thing as the best indicator of future behavior is that of past behavior. You're going to go back to what's comfortable. You're going to go back to what's familiar. And on the process of that change in a mindset type journey, you can't be afraid or in fear of change. You can't be afraid of something new. I tell people all the time, like I don't know why people just tell me things, and I listen to them. I'm like, well, your number one problem goes, well, Sean, what do you think I'm doing wrong? I'm like, are you sure you want my answer? Because I'm gonna give it to you straight, no chaser. I mean, in order for you to receive it, you gotta keep your feelings, and you gotta keep your feelings out of it. It's like my mother always say, in order for anything to work between a man and a woman, you got to take feelings out of it, and you got to take judgments out of it in order for it to be reciprocated clearly. So, with that being said, B, what's your take on the mindset when it comes with relationships? Do you think that the mindset has a lot to do with the disconnect between men and women?
Absolutely. That's we have been pretty much, I would say, conditioned and engineered to be independent. Like feminism didn't free women, it freed men. So men have been freed from our normal responsibilities of being providers, being protectors, going out hunting, finding shelter, building it up, and having somewhere for the woman to nest, have the children, and take care. Men don't have to do that no more. Now men can live for themselves. They don't have to start a family. They can be a monk. They can be a player. They can be whatever they want to be. So the mindset is different. The mindset of men back in the day was, hey, I find a girl, vet her out, settle down, have children, and I'm going to work, provide for them, put them through school, do everything I need to do, make sure she's fine. And pretty much a lot of men work themselves into early graves doing that.
Right.
But now we don't have that mindset. The same with women. Women back in the day, their mindset was one way too. Now they're like, they want to get out the house. They want to go achieve. They want to go do all these things. And That's where the disconnect is, because now you have two people now who are pretty much incompatible because of their mindset. Because that is not going to work. The man that I just described and the modern woman that I just described, they don't need each other. The only thing they need each other for is the horizontal monster mash from time to time. Play some pelvic pinochle or something like that. Other than that, man, I mean, what's the need? You know?
B, where you be getting these? Where you get these sayings from? Hey man, that terminology is hilarious, dog.
Oh yeah.
Hey man, you could have just said smacking bellies, and I'd have been right there with you, dog. I'm like, oh, all right,
I haven't heard that one. I haven't heard that one before.
That horizontal monster mash. I was like, where'd that come from? It's but you know what? The phrase is kind of catchy.
Yeah.
But I agree with you 100%, bro.
My favorite is pelvic pinochle. That's my favorite. Yeah.
Pelvic pinochle. Well, you out of control.
Yeah, that's the favorite.
But man, you can have like in-depth conversations, man, with people, because people ask, well, why didn't that work out, or why did this work out, or why do you think like this, or why do you think like that? I think being a great conversationalist causes for a deeper way of thinking. Some people don't think deeply. They only think, you know, to the surface, and that's about it. They ain't going no further than that. They're only thinking a little bit. But to have a great conversation with somebody, whether you can almost get lost in the conversation, is pretty much being a thinker who's just not thinking in a one-dimensional type of way. A deep thinker thinks multidimensional. Their thinking is broad and really vast. That's what creates a really great deep conversation. Like you can look at a person like, and then you have a conversation like, man, that person is nothing like what they outer shell portrays. I did not know that person was that deep. That person is so deep they can pretty much almost talk over your head, because their thinking is just not a certain level. So what we have to do, I think, in when it comes to men and women, first of all, we got to listen to each other. Second of all, we have to have the mindset of everything in this relationship dynamic has to be reciprocated. From attention to compliments to I got your back. It's us against the world. We don't do hearsay with each other. I'm not going to side with nobody else over you. It's just so many deeper. It's so much things between a man and a woman that they have to be together on, opposed to being separate, in order for the relationship, the dynamics of that relationship to truly work. The huge disconnect, man, once we start looking at each other differently, and then once the communication stops, it's pretty much dead in the water. Everything is based off of communication. And once a person, for me, I'm just going to talk about me. I'm not talking about nobody else. Once I tell you something in confidence, because us men, I'm gonna let you know straight up, we have to know that we can be safe to have an uncomfortable conversation about our fears, about things that's troubling us. Brandon, do you feel as if, and I'll come back to that, do you feel that men feel that it's safe to talk to their women?
In general, no, they don't feel that it's safe, because we've seen where, I mean, men's of all walks of life, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Middle Eastern, I mean, you name it, tall, short, dark, light, big, skinny, like it doesn't matter what walk of life, social class, creed, color, religion that this man is. All of them have been saying the same thing, that when you reveal yourself, you become vulnerable, and you tell those inner deep, dark secrets, thoughts, or insecurities, or things that you go through, at a certain point, when things aren't good, she's going to weaponize it against you. That's just what it is. Many men have talked about that. And that's right. And it's a defense mechanism in women because women can't overpower us physically in general. Like the strongest woman is going to have a tough time with the weakest man. It's just what it is. But the way they compensate for that is through their actions and their words and things they say. That's why they cut so deep when they talk, when we get into it, and you wonder why. Okay, we're just having a simple discussion. She gets upset, and you like, okay, we having a butter knife fight, and what you doing with the machete? Like, come on now, like that's not what we're here to do. Like you taking it up another level.
Right,
You know?
right.
Yeah.
Man, that's a good analogy, and that's really deep, but it's so true. Sometimes in conversation or heated conversations, man, it thing goes sideways. You be like, well, where did that come from? Have you all then the man's thinking, have you always thought about that? I mean, have you always thought that about me? You know?
Yeah.
As a man, when I've shared my deep, darkest secrets or my deep, darkest, troubling things with the female, and the troubling part is the reaction is different than mine was to her.
Mm-hmm.
So again, my mother's always told me, if you want to know how somebody thinks, watch what they say.
Yeah.
It's going to tell you the whole entire, Sean's going to tell you the whole storyline, the whole movie, the directors, the producers. It's going to tell you all the stars, and it's going to tell you everything. But watch what she says and how she says it. Because sometimes, as experience for me, and some people have the argument, oh, you chose the wrong woman. I say, well, you know what? That may have been true. But when the consensus of the percentage is higher than this, when you go to have a deep conversation with this individual that you quote unquote says is your woman, and my reaction to her and her problems was reciprocated much from an empathy and sympathy type way, and hers to me was just straight poker face. That's a huge problem, and women wonder why men don't want to open up, why they are kind of are recluse with their feelings. Well, maybe if when we came together and you act like you were concerned, you portrayed a sense of concern and a sense of urgency of concern, then maybe we would open up to you. Or when we do open up to you, you're not looking at us differently. Again, and everything goes back. If the mind ain't right, the freaking rest don't matter. So that relationship is doomed from failure if both individuals' mind isn't centered on pretty much being selfless toward each other. It's a huge disconnect between men and women alike. Men are guilty for some things, and women are also guilty for some things too. It's just not always put on just one person. Whereas there's a cause, there's an effect. I've been saying that for a long time because that's something my mom always said. And to me, she's like, Sean, people just don't wake up and be like, you know what? I'm just going to F up all day today. Where there's a cause, there's an effect. And maybe there's been an underlying issue or problem that's been going on that hasn't even been acknowledged or even discussed. So again, everything starts and ends with the way we think. We can't get away from that. We can't people sleep on the mindset every single day.
Yeah.
And they expose themselves and based off how they talk. And I'm like, well, I'm looking in my mind, I'm like, well, sweetheart, if you do what you've always have done, you're going to continue to get what you have always gotten.
Yeah.
In order, that's pretty much prettied up as insanity.
Mm-hmm.
In order to get something new, something refreshing, something that's going to challenge you mentally, you got a lot of men with women who ain't even trying to even challenge them to elevate them mentally. And you got a lot of women with men who ain't even challenge them to elevate mentally. That's the
Right.
big problem right there. There's no mental elevation of the cerebral, period. So there's no challenge. Y'all going through the regular same old crap that you've been with Tom, Dick, and Harry, and he been with Jackie, Susan, and Roberta. So it's like you're going through the same stuff, because when people challenge you mentally, you kind of stand back like, okay, that's not what I want.
Mm-hmm.
This person is causing me to think. This person is gut checking me mentally, not just every now and then, but every single day. But that's how you're going to grow and become that phenomenal, virtuous woman, because he sees potential in you and he's trying to challenge you mentally. And for him to be the man he needs to be, she needs to be challenged him mentally. Now, we're not talking about with this basic crap. This has nothing to do with materialistic crap. This has nothing to do with money. This has nothing to do with possessions. This has to do with the inner man and the inner woman. Because if your mind is not where it needs to be, you're never going to get to the next level. And you're never going to have those things that you want in a man or in a woman at the next level, because you still stuck on basic.
Yeah.
And you ain't trying to grow. You ain't even trying to challenge yourself.
Yeah.
But you expect the creme de la creme of things. That's not how life works. B, I'll let you. I tell me what your take is on that, brother.
Well, people, when you talked about having your mindset challenged, that's a big one too. I did I did my shoot. I think it was Friday. Was it Friday or Saturday? I think it was Friday. I did my shoot with the group 21st Man that I was telling you about, and I had the lady was there who had did a show on my platform where we talked about protecting Black women. She came on and she was very good. Very refreshing mindset that she had. So when we were at the shoot, during the shoot, she was behind the scenes, so I said some things on camera, just poking fun at women about how they move the goalposts and telling young men, we were talking about financial health. I said, don't worry about what women want in a man as far as finances or anything like that, because it's going to change an hour from now. So you shouldn't worry about what they say and what they say they want, because that's always going to change. So you need to focus on yourself. That need to be your goal.
Right.
So after the shoot, we were talking. The whole group was talking. They were talking about moving the goalposts and stuff I was saying, and the guys are laughing. And she challenged me on my mindset, and she kind of like, her voice got loud and her demeanor, her shoulders bowled up, her chest stuck out, and I'm just like, dude, she was like a little man talking to me, man. And I was like, man, that was kind of aggressive, but I never backed down though. I never backed down. Everything she came at me with, I went right back at her. And I'm like, you challenging my mindset, and I'm gonna tell you exactly what's in here. I'm not gonna shrink and say, well, nope. Actually, I'm gonna double down on what I said, or probably say something more that you're not going to like. If that's right. if that triggered you, I got way worse than that. If that triggered you, so when people try to challenge your mindset, stand firm. Stand firm on the things you believe in. Stand firm on the things that you have said. I've always said that. Me apologizing for things I say. I don't seen too many people do it who said things and they apologize and they look weak. They look incredibly weak. The baby right now has been doing all that apologizing. It ain't got to nowhere. People still want to cancel him. They still think he's homophobic, and he did all that apologizing for absolutely nothing, because it doesn't change anything.
Right. It's I watched that Dave Chappelle special twice.
Yeah,
because I wanted to catch some things that I was missing, that I may have missed, and I missed a couple of things. Dave Chappelle, if people, and again, this is a mindset thing. This is how my mother used to tell me all the time. She's like, I don't want you to grow up to be a man that's closed-minded. Because closed-minded people, the problem with closed-minded people, they always got their mouth open with the wrong information, because they don't think before they speak. They have no voice of reason in their head, and they have no sense of direction when it comes to logic, or basic common sense. All they see is certain things, and they just stick on those certain things, and they can't think deeper from beyond the surface. Dave Chappelle, I think he's so intelligent, and I'm not. One of my friends from school, I was like, I said, I'm not going to say that, but I'm going to say what they said. It was like, he's so intelligent, Sean, that, commonplace people are just dumb. They don't get his intelligent level, because Dave can break down something and I get the message within his message immediately. Why? Because I'm not a closed-minded thinker. Closed-minded thinkers, they only think one way. It's they got one exit, and they got one entry, one exit. And the exit is the same door that you came in. That's it. That's the perfect definition of a closed-minded thinker. You can't sit and have a conversation with them, because it's the way you came in, the way you go out. That's it. There is nothing. You can figure them out immediately. The message that Dave was pretty much saying, and I love how he ended the special. I want you to do one thing: quit punching down on my people.
Yeah.
And what you're missing, and the comparisons, is the racism in this world that he was pretty much trying to point out, that he is pretty much just putting out and putting out and putting out. And the comedy of it was funny, but the comedy, his delivery is just genius. I mean, the dude, I mean, he's just genius. And how he said, and I thought about it, to be perfectly honest with you, like, how is it that movement has so much power and people of my color just struggle with just been for years and years and years and years of the genocide things that actually happened and developed of our ancestors, today can't even be freaking heard. Yeah. How is that movement doing that well? I mean, it's baffling to me. I'm not. I know people who are gay, and I know people who are doing their thing. I have no justification to judge anybody on who they are with, who they choose to be with, or how they live their lives. It's none of my business.
Yeah.
I choose to live my life the way I choose to live it. You choose to live your life however you choose to live it. I have no dog in your fight, and I have no opinion of it. It is not my place to even judge you. But my thing is, when I think about the history on America, educated in the history, because some people aren't even educated. Some people aren't even educated on the history of the place that they've been living in their whole entire lives. Some people aren't even educated thinking that America is the only people that were here. America wasn't even here first.
Yeah.
So when you talk about something, make sure you're educated about the history of this place. There are grown-up people in their 40s, 50s, and 60s that don't even know the history of the place that they live in, which is remotely sad. So now you sound really uneducated when you talk about matters that you have no education on. But it's baffling how people have been destroyed and treated wrongly just because of the color of their skin, and they not being heard. But then there's another movement. If you say hey to them, you in trouble, or everything is offensive. But again, it goes back to the mentality of our society.
Yeah.
Our society is so sensitive and so brittle to everything. How can you have a transparent conversation? How can you listen to one another when you are sensitive and brittle of every single syllable that comes out somebody's mouth? And if you sit back and just be quiet and let the message come out so you can receive it, comprehend it, and then respond, we can have a better dialogue that can change the narrative in our whole society. B.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
That amazes me. That's why I said that. I did a previous show. I said where, the whole that whole thing. I really don't care. I don't, because what that community has done, the LGBTQ community itself has continuously cried wolf. And any little thing that you said about them, they've had an issue with it. It's like they're above reproach. They're above criticism. They're above you calling them out. Now, do people spew hate? Yeah, but people spew hate everywhere. That's one thing. Hate is not something that's just reserved for one set of people. There's hate everywhere. You got people who hate everyone, like John Gruden. John Gruden in those emails with him talking about DeMaurice Smith lips looking like Michelin tires, which I'm not gonna lie. When I first heard that, I did chuckle because he does have, big black lips. He does. It's just what it is. Right. And I can laugh at that as a black man. We right. You know how we joke on each other. You got your dark skin bros.
Hey, man. Hey, my
jump
brother,
out the car.
Speaking of big lips, my brother had me and my brother used to go in the barbershop to get our haircuts when we was teenagers. They'd be like, look at them big nose brothers. They go to cocaine nose brothers. They used to call it cocaine nose brothers. And Len used to go and sing a song like, call me bubble lip brown sugar, bubble lip brown sugar. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's just, you grow up with those things, man. So they are kind of funny, you know, but that's our culture.
That's our culture. Hey, brother so dark, he jump out the car, the oil light come on. Like that, those are things that we used to say, that we say to each other, man. But we've got to a place where so you can't, they don't want you to joke on them, they don't want you to say anything.
No.
But they have no issue standing idly by when it's us, because John Gruden coached the full game after he made that remark on the black man's lips. That was, insensitive. He did. He coached the full game. It wasn't until his homophobic and misogynistic remarks and the topless photos of the Washington cheerleaders that they was like, and he said some things about Goodell. So they're like, okay, now we got to get him up out of here. No, the Raiders didn't want to do anything until the NFL was like, yo, he got to go because of what he said. The NFL wanted him gone from the beginning. They was like, oh, the black man stuff wasn't enough. Okay, well, he said something about the LGBTQ community, about women, and about a bunch of different people. And we going to keep leaking emails until y'all get him out of here. So the Raiders' mindset was, black people, no, that's cool. We're going to be fine. The black players don't have an issue with that. We'll be fine. But as soon as he said something about the LGBTQ, women and stuff, they're like, oh, he's terrible. He's this terrible person. That's why the whole thing, I don't care. I don't care, because people really don't care, Sean. They fake care all day long. And it's they want to feel important. They want to feel a part of a cause. They want to feel self-righteous. I'm better than you because I care about these things. No, you don't. You really don't. You really don't.
Wow. You know what? So I kind of was late on the whole John Gruden thing, man. I didn't know. I was like, well, I said, so in my, I was like, so when was the emails? Somebody told me, well, Sean, it went back as 2008. Oh, they went back as 2011. But they went all the way up to
65,000 emails.
What did you say?
65,000 emails that they've been going through. John Gruden, that's not all of just his, but the people that were part of the email chain, they say 65, right. I think, no, 65. It might have been 65, 650,000, not 65,000, 650,000. My bad. Yeah.
What in the world, man? Are you serious?
Yeah, and then in those emails, and the NFL knows, because they won't leak the rest of those emails, the mindset of the NFL is in those emails. And what they're finding out is a lot of them are discriminatory. Some of them are probably straight up racist. They're prejudiced. I mean, it's not surprising. I mean, we know these things, man. We know that those guys sitting in those offices in the suits, a lot of them are that way.
Right. I mean, I mean, if you think, it was exposed with the whole knee thing, the whole Colin Kaepernick thing. You know, that's when it was exposed, when the owners were pretty much the stuff they were saying and how they wasn't actually, making no movement. And people would come, clients would come, and I say, listen, man, I try to keep politics out my business or whatever. I said, but some people who wasn't in the military and don't know the meaning of the flag, there's certain flag codes that people don't even know. What do you mean flat clothes? I said, exactly. So a lot of people are chirping on things that they have no meaning, and you missed the whole entire message.
Yeah.
Of what that guy was trying to do. He was trying to stand up for people who couldn't stand up for themselves. So you can't have empathy for the weak. You can't have empathy for the people who can't fight for themselves. He was just trying to pretty much send a message. Okay, we just want to be heard. That's it. And they took that and they ran and they did this and they did that and they did this. And I'm like, after a while, man, I just kind of tuned it out because it was coming from a place of uneducated ignorance. And so I'm like, when a person is uneducated, I'm not finna sit here and reason with you. It's like me trying to reason with a fool.
Yeah.
There's no reason with the fool. You a fool for trying to reason with the fool because, again, they close-minded. How they come in is how they go out. They ain't got no other exit or entries. So there's not going to be any dialect. There's not going to be a respectful dialogue because they're not trying to listen because they're so close-minded.
I mean, think about history. Think about how many people died from the building, the architecture of one entrance, one exit. When things went wrong inside those buildings, the people that died, they were trapped, couldn't get out because maybe both or one of them were blocked. And so after a while, they were like, okay, we have to add more entrances and exits because only having two, people have died. That's literally the mindset. So like with Colin Kaepernick, people talk about he's disrespecting the flag. I was like, well, do you own any paraphernalia with flag design on it? I said, that's disrespecting the flag. You know that. You can't have flag clothing, flag cups, tablecloths. I mean, any of that stuff, putting it on the beer cans, you're not supposed to do that. By the letter of the law, those things are not supposed to be done. It is disrespectful to the flag. Dude had on a flag thong jumping in the ice bath. Like, come on. That's disrespectful to the flag. But you want to talk about Colin Kaepernick. Come on.
Exactly. And for somebody who served this country, who was in wartime situations, I pretty much am not going to listen to you when I know that you're pretty much purposely disrespecting the flag. I know what the flag stood about. I was in the military. We had to know what it meant, what it represented, the history of it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But again, you can't have open dialogue with closed-minded individuals. I'm going to give you a perfect example. I had a client this morning. I'm not going to divulge their name. I'm just using this as an example. Client this morning, we going back and forth, and they were like, you know what, Sean? You don't check on my meals anymore. You know what, Sean? My workouts is this way and that way. I just want to know what's going on. I said, well, when I tried to talk to you, every time I said something to you, you got sensitive about something. I'm here to do a job. You walk in here like it's your name on the door. That's my name on the door. You walk in my house. You do what you want to do in my house, and you're borderline disrespectful. You're closed-minded. You can't have a conversation with a closed-minded individual because, first of all, they see things their way. They need your help. How you need somebody help and you're closed-minded? I'm doing things and changing things around, and I'm dumbing down for you. Why? Because you're closed-minded. Because the times I've tried to talk to you, you've gotten sensitive. You're very brittle to every single thing I say. So how do you think the relationship or the dynamics is going to go? Well, I want to renew with you. This is how it went down. I said, I'm not for you. I don't want you to renew with me. I don't want your money. I said, one thing, I told you from day one, I never got into this for money. And I told you my story. I fell in love with fitness in 7th grade. Everything I do in fitness is energized. It's motivated. It's inspired from passion. And you got a trainer who's passionate about what he's doing. Yeah. I've used to train trainers on how to be a trainer. I was a director of personal training departments. I've worked at corporate America in fitness. I've been in the ins and outs. I've done every hat. I've done the corporate stuff. I've done my own stuff. All I'm trying to tell you is this. When you get a trainer who is passionate about what they do, that means they care about your success. But when you get in the way with your closed-minded behavior and your closed-minded attitude, eventually it's going to come to a close. I told you day one, I fire clients all the time. So Sean, you're not going to give me, I'm like, no, it's not a fit for me.
Yeah.
And I said, people who's going to be sensitive, brittle to everything I say, and I've been doing this for 20 something years, and I got a high success rate, and you going to come in here and all of a sudden, all the years and all my time and all my skin in the game is weighed off based of what you think.
Yeah.
When my track record is impeccable, you got to go, because I don't want that toxic behavior inside my environment where people love to come. Because I would say 90%, 98.9% of my clients have been with me for a while.
Yeah.
And then you got some new jacks or a couple of people come in and they trying to rock the boat with that negative, toxic energy. That's not going to work for me. I said, because listen, you can't put a price on peace of mind. I'd rather you take your money and go someplace else so you can see what's out there, so you can compare it to something that you once had. And that's the thing with people. They don't understand. I'm like, and I said, listen, what I tried to explain to you is I've had 8 trainers in my lifetime myself. I've been you. I know what it's like. But my mother raised me to always be respectful.
Yeah.
Always be respectful. And you never go in somebody's business establishment being disrespectful. You don't go in nobody else's house being disrespectful. See, I was raised from an old school mama who respect was paramount in everything. I was in a time where, hey, you disrespect that adult, they gonna call you, she gonna tell you, beat his behind, and when he come home, I'm gonna get a beating again. See, I come from an old school of hard knocks. And one thing for me, that disrespect, I ain't taking it from a relationship being disrespected. I'm not taking it from a client being disrespected. I will give you your money back so you can see the type of brother I am. I'm passionate about this. This is why I look like this at 51. There's a difference. And you 20 years younger than me and you looking like melted ice cream. There's a difference in our mindsets. You don't even get me. You can't even be on my level in a conversation. And I'm trying to be respectful to you. I've been doing this since I was in 7th grade. I'm for real about this. Didn't even know about getting paid about it. Never thought that I could get paid about something I used to do in 7th grade. Y'all not getting that. But you want to come in somebody's house and be disrespectful and really think in your feeble mind, in your brittle, sensitive mind, that you deserve respect. No, I said, baby girl, with all due respect, you got to go. And I don't mind firing people because I fire them with the quicks. The only reason I hold on to people for a little bit is like, let me see if they're gonna change. Let me give them, because I believe in mercy. Let me give them some mercy. But when you a closed-minded person, you closed-minded in life. You closed-minded in your marriage with that man. You closed-minded with that man in that relationship. And I ain't married to you. I ain't got to wake up with you, baby. And my shoes don't go in your bed at night. So I don't care how you personally feel. But in my house, with my name on the door, where I pay the rent, I started it from nothing.
Yeah.
All the hours I work, getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning, getting home at 9 o'clock, probably getting in REM sleep around about 11:30, get back up at 3, getting 2 hours, 2.5, 3 hours sleep. Man, I want to hear that. So my thing about it is, if you want respect from anybody, you best believe you need to be respectful. So with all due respect, it was good training you, but I do not want your money and I do not want you to renew. This is your last day. I wish you the best luck, and I hope you find a trainer who is a good fit for you, because you are definitely not a good fit for me. And I said, for me, I sat back, I bridled my tongue, and I didn't say nothing to you. And I let you get away with it. And I let you talk sideways out your mouth, and you did this and you did that and did this and did that. You talking to me like you look like me. You talking to me like you've been working out since you was in the 7th grade. You talking to me like I ain't got no education. I ain't got over 10 certifications. I ain't got no degrees. You talking to me like I got a GED. You talking to me like I'm just plumbed down. You talking to me like
Yeah.
I just started this yesterday. I've
Yeah.
never been disrespectful to any trainer I had. If that dude told me or she told me to go stand on a roof, stand on one leg with an umbrella up, that's exactly what I did. But that's how I got the results, by listening. By
Yeah.
listening. I never challenged their authority. And that's the problem. You come in here and people want, you want respect. You got to give that respect in return, man, in order for people to respect you. That's what I got on that, BB. I'll let you take it, bro.
Yo, what up? What up, Gisela? What up, Ness? Gisela say yes. You're fired. They say Ness say fellas, what it do? And Ness say,
What's up,
damn,
Ness?
melted ice cream.
Hey, man, it is what
Hey,
it is, Ness.
it is what it is, man.
It is what it is, bro.
Hey, Ness say I pay the cost to be the boss up in here, boo boo. Yeah,
Hey,
I mean
hey, man.
that's just what it is, man. But
Yeah.
hey, I would say that yeah. I don't understand that. That's like me going to McDonald's and like, yo, no, you got to make the Big Mac this way. No, like, huh? I never understood that. Like,
hey, man.
Anytime I'm somewhere where I'm not familiar, one of the things I do is something I'm uncomfortable with, something I'm unfamiliar with, is seek counsel. Those who are already in that field, when I talk to them, it's listening. It's pen and pad, ears perked up,
Right.
and it's listening to learn, not listening to respond.
Right.
Right. And not only that, to my Brandon OMG, Giselle say, I know that's right. But yeah, oh yeah.
All right.
But yeah, you need to you can't you have to go in with a humble spirit anyway, because this is not your wheelhouse. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I may know a ton of sports, but ESPN calls me up today and I get on ESPN campus. I can't go up there like big bad sportsman. They've literally been doing it since before I was born. So I need to learn as much as I possibly can while I'm there, so I can take away what I need to take away from it.
Right.
But
exactly.
But that goes back to the mindset of people, and people feeling like, they're, I wouldn't say necessarily holier than thou, but they just feel like they're cut above the rest when it comes to certain stuff,
Right. Exactly.
And I never understood that.
And Brandon, people think just because they're paying you money that you have to put up with their disrespect and attitude. No, I don't. I pick and choose who I want to train. And when I see that we're not getting along, you have to go. I don't mind firing you because I've worked too hard to get to where I'm at. And my mom used to tell me all the time, baby, if the stress ain't worth it, now that you a business owner, they got to go if they affecting your stress level with their attitude and their demeanor. And I tell people all the time, my first trainer at 21 told me, he said, Sean, I don't care what I came in, I had a bad attitude because of my day. He said, Sean, your day ain't got nothing to do with me, buddy. How would you feel, Sean, if I've had a bad day and I dumped it all on you every single time you came in here? Is that right, Sean? He said, Sean, whatever you go through, and I was 21, he said, whatever you go through, you leave that crap at the door. You come in my establishment with that bad attitude again, I'm literally throwing you out of here. Mm-hmm. So it's your choice. I don't care how you feel about it. And I love that but you know what? It taught me whatever I'm going through in my day, leave that mess there. Don't bring that mess into that establishment, because that's not fair to the person who ain't seen you all day and don't know what you're going through, but you're going to go in there and dump that stuff on them because you had a bad day. Newsflash, everybody has bad days.
Yes.
My mom used to tell me all the time, Sean, you're nobody special because you had a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
Man up, get over it, and move on. Don't stay there. And that's the problem with a lot of people in their individual lives outside of training with me.
Oh my God, one of your best friends, Robin Melinda, she instilled that in me from the beginning, Sean. When I was going into the workforce, that's some of the best advice she's ever given me. She said, I don't care what you're going through, leave your problems at the door. You have a job to do. Though that you don't need to take those things to work because it's going to affect your work. So drop it off at the door, go do your job, pick it back up on your way out.
Hey, what you see Nesco comment?
Yeah. He said, OMG, Sean, bro, every day I deal with people who come in the hospital trying to tell me how to do security, and they're jobless. Negro, please, bye. Oh, dude, I go through that at the college too, man. And it's funny when it comes to security,
Right.
people don't respect security in general until they actually need it. It's
Exactly.
with a lot of things. There's a lot of things where stuff that when until something goes wrong and until you need it, then you're like, oh, I need your assistance. Now, whoa. I was just a mall cop just a second ago, wasn't I?
Paul Blart.
Yeah, I was just Paul Blart. Yeah, that's what I was just. And now you need my help. Oh, that homeless dude, he done walked in the building. Now you want me to remove him, don't you? Oh, okay, yeah, right. Yeah, it's like that. Yeah, it's like that. But that goes back to the mindset. Hey, Ness say yes, Brandon. Yes, yeah. That goes back to the mindset. Being respectful of somebody's job. Like I don't care if your job is to watch the fries at McDonald's, not even take them out the grease. They just told you, hey, we want you to do. You got one job. We want you to watch these fries. When it beep, call the person whose job it is to take them out and salt them. If that's their job, okay, that's his job. Respect the job, because if you don't do the job, guess what? We got burnt fries, goddamn. So like, come on now, respect people's job.
So again, man, everything goes back to the mindset, and man, I cannot get off what baffles me with people, I'm like, how can you not understand your problems are coming from how you think? I don't understand it. People, they looking for the answers everywhere. They're covering up every rock, every crevice to find the answers to their problems. The answer to your problems will sit between your shoulders. If you change the way you think, and your life is going to change. Yep. If I think negatively every day, I'm going to get negative. If I'm mean to my wife or my girlfriend and I'm treating her like crap every day, what's going to get out of that, or vice versa? You get what you give.
Yeah.
I mean, it's simple. It's simplistic laws of attraction, people. If you want different, then do different. If you want better, then do better. Yeah. No one owes you anything. And people are in great situations on jobs. I know people who have done favors for people, got them in great financial situations. They're getting this and they're getting that. And the ungratefulness is mind-boggling and baffling. Yeah. Like I do a lot of things. I wanted my clients to sex rate. I started doing this about 12 years ago. I was like, man, why do my clients fall off? Why do they fall off? Why do they fall off? Why do they fall off? And I started doing something I don't get paid for. I send out motivational emails every week. I check in with them through text throughout the day. Yep. I don't get paid for that. Some people look at that like, so I remember when I was a director of training, I used to go to different health clubs and train trainers on how to have good client retention. Because people was like, man, how you have people been with you for 6-8 years? People don't want to go nowhere. What do you do? And I told the trainers, this is what I do. I do this, and that. I'm not doing that. I don't get paid to do that. And I say, that's why your retention level fails, because a professor told me people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. When I tell you that stuck with me all these years, that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. When you're going above and beyond and doing things for people that you're not getting a cent from, that shows, hey, listen, you ain't got to be the smartest person in the world to realize that individual really cares about me, because they are taking time to do things for me, to respond to me, to go back and forth with me, and I'm not even paying them to do that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't treat a trainer who goes above and beyond for you like he's nothing and try to be disrespectful when he is doing things for you that no trainer is going to do. Majority of trainers, when you communicate with them, is when you see them on that day that you see them. There's no communication throughout the week.
Yeah.
On nothing. You can't contact them out their hours. You can't. Good luck with trying to text them once they're off work or on the weekend. Something like, you get no response. People don't realize. That's why I have to fire people so they can see what's out there. Because once you get, it's almost like a relationship. You think the grass is going to be greener on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And once you see, when you get on the other side, it ain't nothing but weeds. you'd be like, man, I should have appreciated. We've all been through it. I should have appreciated what I had when I had it. Now you see that the grass ain't green on the other side.
Yeah.
But I love firing people because so all the stuff that I told them about that grass on the other side, so they can finally see. No, you need to go out there and see how cold that world really is.
Yes.
It's cold out there when you're by yourself, ain't you? Ain't it? It's real cold out there when you're by yourself. But that's what you get. But that's the bed that you made with your attitude. Again, mindset is everything, because if your mind ain't right, the rest don't matter. And that's why people fail. That's why people, they start and they quit, and they have no consistency. They have no continuity. They do what they want to do because why? Because of their mindsets. So B, man,
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you lead the final thought. My client is here, so I gotta go. I got Miss Donna. Hey, Miss Donna.
Okay.
It's been a long
Let's see.
time.
Nesse, nothing burns me more than you in my face with your hot Marlboro or Winston, Wisdom Swiss, 100 breath, telling me how to do my job or acting like their name is on the building. Oh, especially the cigarette smokers. Please get out my face. Or some heifer that looked like she should be a linebacker for the Jags being disrespectful because she had to walk from the parking lot and is out of breath. Sit your husky ass down and wait to leave. Ooh, let's go. Oh my God. Oh, hey, them Nesco, them wide back chicks be the worst. Oh my goodness, they do. Hey, back look like a surfboard. Hey, I'm talking about those be the worst, Ness. Because I guess they're upset because they're built like Lawrence Taylor. I guess I don't know, but I have a huge problem with them. I mean, come in with attitudes. Where's the library? Where's the bookstore? Where's this? I'm like, God, why are you so upset? But I get it. But to wrap up, right. In closing, if you can't change your mindset, I mean, you can't change anything. I think you talked about that before. Right. And also when it comes to mindset, we're not talking about, one singular thing or just a group of things. When it comes to the mindset, it's very fluid because you reserve the right to change your mind when presented with new information. That's the good thing about it. Because like you can feel one way all day long. You can say, "Hey man, the sky is pink," but you've never seen the sky. You come out, you walk outside, you're like, "Oh, the sky's blue." Okay, guys, hey, the sky's blue. You change your mind because you presented with new information. I mean, it's just what it is, man. And so I think that having that mindset, being able to listening to understand instead of listening to respond is one of the biggest things, man. Because once you find out where people come from, how they think, you'll know how to deal with them, man. And I think I say that one of my biggest issues is people who enable those with effed up mindsets. You enable them. Call them out. I don't care who they are. Call them out, man. Call them out.
Right. That's all. That was good, B. That was good final thought. Hey, y'all follow my boy B. B, tell the people how they can get in contact with you, how they can follow you, your podcast, everything.
Brandon Lampley on just about any platform. Put me on any platform. Put in Brandon Lampley. You'll find me. YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, all those good things. I go live probably about 2 to 3 times a week. Talk about a myriad of topics from sports to politics, you name it. Even talks just like this one. Me and Sean will be on my platform on our next broadcast. So hey, check us out.
Right. And y'all gonna see Brandon on mine. This is 2 brothers that's paying it forward, man. It's not we don't do no crab pot tactics on that. We don't do that. It's about brothers helping out brothers. It's about just helping out each other get to where we need to get to. So listen, man, like I said, at the end of every segment, I'll start judging people once I'm perfect too, since I'm in no danger of ever becoming perfect. You never have to worry about Sean ever judging you, period. Y'all stay up. Follow me, FIMP, for Imperfect Non-Judgmental People, tailor-made training for you, my business Facebook page, personal page, Sean Taylor, send me a request. Also, 50 and Over Club, my YouTube channel that I created in reference of my mother, Gwen's Boys Mindset. Please subscribe. Click and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Everything is streaming in those things that I just spoken of. Listen, y'all stay up. Catch me and Brandon throughout the week. Brandon, we got to, what time I see you today? I see you, 3:30? 4 o'clock?
3. I may have to reschedule. But we'll see. But I'll call you.
Yeah, call me and let me know so we can get
Yeah.
that done. All right, y'all,
Yeah.
stay up, man. Keep it positive, good people. Peace.
Peace.